Thanks. If you don't mind, can I go up on the stage?
Go for it. Be careful. Oh, yeah.
I'm a fan of season and opportunity. Let's see all you pretty faces. Not those ones. Evening. So, school. Hands up if you love school. Oh dear. Hands up if school's all right. Hands up if you don't like school. Hands up if you'd be honest, and put your hand up if your parents weren't here. It's going to be a tough gig, Jack. So, school. I had a very much a love-hate relationship with school. I was very, very, very fortunate from a young age to go to private school. My dad was in the military. We got basically cheap seats. So I got into boarding school at 9 years old, and then my parents divorced at 11. And my mum, she didn't want to take me out of boarding school, so she was a legend and got a job at Royal Hospital School, which is in Holbrook. She worked as a matron, and because she did that, she basically got me a cheap seat. So I was very fortunate in that I got a private school education, and I'm very thankful for that, to a degree. Now, the school I went to was very rigid. There was systems, there was rules, and I spent every day rebelling against it. I was in like the bottom five, the five that all the teachers scowled at and knew I was going to get a D and wouldn't spend time on, and to be honest was doing my fair share of misbehaving. But it's because I couldn't fit into the mould. And I think one of the core things that we're starting to understand from this evening is there's lots of different moulds that everyone has the opportunity to mould themselves into if they're willing to give themselves a chance and they're willing to mould themselves. We've all got environments around us every day that are forcing us to do different things, make different decisions, and we as people, as individuals, have got to know when to listen to that advice and when to trust our heart and follow our passions and do the things that really mean the most to us. And I was fortunate enough to have two very opposing opinions in my upbringing from both my parents. My dad was like, join the military, get a job, be secure, do what I did. And then my mum was like, follow your passions, dream big, do whatever you want. I'll be here to catch you. I'll support you however I can. We might not always have the money, but I'll help where I can. And that was incredible for a young guy to have that whisper from mum to just say, do whatever you want. And I was fortunate enough that I ignored my dad. And it was easy to ignore my dad because he wasn't really around. So high five my mum because she's a legend. So all throughout school, I did all the subjects that my teachers told me would not lead to any success when I left school. I did art, I did drama, I did tech, I did media. I did all the stuff where you paint and draw and drill holes and stuff. I even graffitied a van down the bottom of my school. Got in a lot of trouble for it. It looked really cool though. So I sat down with my careers advisor and he said, this is a bit awkward. I don't really know what you're going to do. You've been doing art and stuff. You've been doing acting. And I said, well, I'm going to go to drama school. And he said, okay, but I would advise you go into the military. I said, thanks for that. My mum told me to dream. I'm going to go dream. So this clicker is working. Sweet, I can't see it. It's so big. So that was my dream, to go to drama school, be on the big stage. And I'd acted ever since I was the age of 8. I've been trees, I've been policeman, I've done all sorts of stuff. And I was a big lad at school. I got bullied, had eczema, had IBS, had ADHD, had all those labels and things, and I got bullied aplenty for it. I struggled to fit in. So when I was 18, I had this revelation. I woke up one day and I said, and I was an obese teenager. I was 16 stone and my natural body weight should have been 10.5 stone. And I said to myself, I don't believe I could be successful with the way that I look and feel. And I just had a reality moment with myself. Put on an honesty hat and said, can I do that with what I've got to offer the world? And I said no. And I looked up to inspirational people. You know, I was looking at the actors, and I was looking at Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks and all these people that are famous, and I compared myself to them, rightly or wrongly. But that's where I wanted to get. I wanted to be a world-famous actor. So I said, I can't do it looking like this dude. I'm not fit, I'm not healthy, I'm not energetic, I'm not alive, I'm not good enough. So I went on a journey and I transformed my body and mind. I started doing a lot of things, I hit a lot of roadblocks, I kept asking questions, and then I fell into the care of a great personal trainer. He still works in this town today. His name's Ben Gray. He owns a gym called Suffolk Strength Academy. He's an incredible trainer. Anyway, walked into his gym, he said, read this book, do these things. I did it, and I lost 4 stone in 4 months. Like, the weight just melted off me. And that was my aha moment. And I said, this is what I want to do. I don't want to act anymore. I want to change other people's lives. I've changed my life. And that process through self-discovery of losing weight, building confidence, realizing what I was capable of as an individual, led me into a career of nutrition. So let me give you a really quick whirlwind of what happened. I then decided to become a personal trainer. My mum had a little kitty put away due to the passing of one of my granddads, and I used that money to train. I flew to California and I studied at the Czech Institute. I did some stuff in Denmark. I was really fortunate, and I became a trainer young, and I knew a lot of cool stuff. Ben Gray, that trainer, was starting up a gym. He said, why don't you come work for me? I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So I went and worked for him at this gym called Refresh Fitness. Doesn't exist anymore. I then got itchy feet. I was 20, going on 21. I was like, this is too much like seriousness. I need to go spread my wings. So I went to university and spread my wings. I didn't really go to university for the education. It was a bit for the education, but I wanted to have fun. I heard uni was well fun, and it is. But I also knew that uni would be a place of opportunity. I didn't feel where I was at, I could open those doors. And I knew if I went to uni, it would open all sorts of doors. And it did. I took every opportunity at uni I could. I worked in fitness first as a personal trainer, because I was already a qualified personal trainer. I worked as a rugby coach in a local school at the weekends. I worked in a cocktail bar at the weekend. I worked in an off license on the evening while I was doing my work. And I got an internship at Hull KR Rugby League team, which is a professional sports team, my second year. And I helped train professional athletes. Every door that opened, I put my foot straight in. Because I still wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And if you're not sure what you want to do, you just got to keep having a stab. You've got to keep having a try. So this email came round one day, and it was from the Enterprise Centre. Now the Enterprise Centre is like a business hub in the university, and it came round and it said, have you ever thought about starting your business? And I was like, I've started a business, I've been self-employed, I don't really like answering to anyone. I like to make up my own rules. So I went into the Enterprise Centre and he said, there's some grants available and you can do this and you can do that. And I was kind of really digging the nutrition thing. And I thought, if I go on the internet, I can tell everyone rather than Dave, who I've got a personal training session with today at 3 o'clock. And I like the idea of that. I like the idea of being able to have a megaphone to the world. So I started up my first business. It's really blurry because there's no images that exist. It's a bit embarrassing. This is where I started to make all my first initial failures in business as a young person. I set up a website. I was coaching people that I didn't want to coach. It was just not good. Anyway, I developed the next business. I thought, let's think more critically. What do I want to create? Who do I want to inspire? Who do I want to work with? So I created Body Type Nutrition, which still exists today, and it got set up as an online coaching company. Then we moved into education. We started doing retreats in foreign countries, and I've worked with some incredible people as a result of it. Now, I then thought, okay, I'm doing this nutrition thing. I want to set myself up so I'm ahead of the competition. What do I do? So at the time, this was kind of a big American qualification. I thought, I'll do this qualification. I'll set myself up away from the crowd. So I did that. So I became an internationally certified sports nutritionist, one of the only 8 in the UK. So already I had a USP. Ben Coomber knows his stuff. Now I left university and I was like, what do you do now? Now, at that point in time, my business wasn't working out. I wasn't making any money. I was still in the off license. I was still coaching kids at weekend. I was still doing whatever I could to make money. My mum and her new partner was living in Dubai. So I said, can I come to Dubai? It looks nice. So I went to Dubai for a month, and it gave me a long time to think and plan and just ponder about my future. And I'll be honest, I had a lot of wobbly moments, and I made the mistake of picking up the phone to my dad. And he said, well, you could go, I could get you straight in the back door. Wouldn't even have to do all the stuff. So I came home from Dubai, and I was like, right, I'm going to go in the Royal Air Force. And I started doing the runs and the press-ups and all the challenges and stuff, and I just got 2 months into the process, and I was getting nowhere. These legs are not designed to run 1.5 miles in 10 minutes or whatever you've got to run it in. I just can't do it. It's like physiologically impossible for me. So I had a lot of wobbly moments. And upon reflection, I created a plan for myself. And this plan was forced upon me because the person that I had to write an application to for the RAF said, you can't come in because you've travelled too much. You are a terrorist threat because you have travelled too much. So, okay, been to Dubai, travelled Asia, done a few bits, but that's fine. And that was a blessing in disguise. So I made a plan for myself. I said, I've got a business, it's turning over a couple of £100. I've got skills as a personal trainer. What do I need to do? Well, firstly, I need to man up. If I was really in touch with my goals and my passions and what I wanted to do, I needed to double down on that. I needed to say, if I'm really passionate, work hard, put your energy in the right places and it will work out. So I decided to build my business relentlessly. I decided to put some bread on the table, so I got a part-time personal training job. I knew that I could do it. Then a few opportunities started to come up because I'm that kind of guy. I'm that kind of guy that if a door's just open a little crack, I'll kick the thing down. And a guy phoned me up one day and he said, what are you doing with yourself? And I'm like, well, just working from my bedroom on my business. And I was working from my mum's bedroom that I was staying in, and my desk was her vanity unit thing. Classy. And he said, I'm building a gym, do you want to come and build it? And I said, yeah, sure. So I went and built a gym with this guy, Andy McKenzie. And we went to an event, and I had to show people how to do things and meet loads of people. And I was like, this is cool. My background of acting of 10 years was now started to be combined with all those skills that I'd now learned as a personal trainer, as a nutritionist. And I got the bug. And at the same time, all my efforts had started to pay off. My business had started to explode. And it had exploded because I'd committed to growing that business. I blogged every week, I did a video every week. I took action to grow my business and my personal brand. So what did I say? Well, things are working, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep repeating the process. So I did that. And I did the same again. And then things really turned a corner. I got invited to what is probably the biggest fitness industry expo in the UK, and I've spoken there ever since 2013. I was the headline speaker in 2013. I've got a podcast that rose to #1 in the UK, top 10 in the world. I wrote for Men's Health, Men's Fitness, all the major magazines. I did a 28 sold-out UK tour all around the UK, selling out audiences like this, trying to help people change their ways, their diet, all that kind of stuff. I spoke on Town 102 radio for a year, and my blog started to get serious traction because of my commitment to it. And that was cool. It was a massive turning point. So what have I learned from it all? What can I try and impart on you today? Well, firstly, you have to keep dreaming every day. And the thing is, we've all got dreams. Everyone goes, I wish I want to do this, or I want to do that, or that looks cool. And you've got to ask yourself, what thought then goes through your head to stop you from taking that action? Because really the difference between life progress and success is the person that dreams and goes, and clicks next on Netflix, or the person that goes, I love that, and I'm going to find out a way how to go and do that. The problem is we're currently in a world that gives us instant gratification on everything. We can find out the answer in 2 seconds flat on Google. How do I do this? How do I do that? We just Google it. Well, the thing is, building a career, you can't build in a couple of weeks. And you might not be able to build it in a couple of years. But give it 5, 6, 8, 10 years, and you could have an absolute empire, brand, whatever you want. Or you could have the best job in engineering at a university. And at no point in this talk am I discrediting the path that loads of you will take into education, which might be becoming a mathematician or an engineer or going into the military. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. But whatever you do, I want you to be the best at it. So make sure you're dreaming. Make sure you get creative with those dreams. Be visual with it. You come into my office, in my house, which is a spare bedroom, still. And I've got whiteboards full of scribbles, I've got pictures up there, I've got doodles, because every day I'm walking in going, what am I doing today? What am I creating? Why am I doing it? How am I going to help? What video can I film today that will maybe inspire people? So, I'm struggling to read this. When we look at dreams, there's a couple of blocking points, right? Most of us think of what other people are going to think. That's dangerous. Because everyone's going to think you're a little crazy. Everyone thought I was crazy when I was going to start up a podcast. Everyone thought I was going to crazy when I was going to get in my clapped out car and drive around the UK and inspire thousands of people. The key thing is sometimes just don't tell people. Don't tell people your dreams. Why is that important? Because they're for you. Tell people that are going to support you on that journey, that you know will encourage you and create that environment around you where you can feel supported and positive every day. Because there's nothing worse than getting up in the morning, kicking down the door, being like, yeah, then telling your mate about it and then going, maybe it's not a good idea. And I see this all the time, especially in the nutrition industry, when people, embark on maybe a new diet. And they start telling all their friends about it, and they're like, well, why are you doing that? Well, why don't you do that? Why are you going to Slimming World this week? Sometimes it's best just not to tell other people and just wake up and go on the journey that you need to go on. Because people, if they feel jealous, they'll start to bring you down. And this is another current problem we have. I can see it in the eyes of some of you in the audience. You're scared to fail. Failure is the only way you will learn how not to do something. I'm 10 years into business and I nearly went bankrupt last year. It's one of the hardest years of my life. I've learned so much from it though. So much that I'm immensely grateful for, and the same mistakes will never happen again as I start to grow my business, employ more staff, and hopefully do inspirational stuff for the world. So you cannot be scared of failure. What most people are scared of is not really failing themselves, but is what the onlookers are thinking. So you've got to practice some kind of resilience that really you actually start to not care what those people think. And that's not to say that you don't care about the person, but there's only so much you should take away from what that person thinks. Because they'll never truly understand your journey and why you're doing it. Because really, whatever came from not trying? What if I'd never started my podcast? What if someone had talked me out of it? I've got the #1 rated show in the UK. That is cool. I've spoken to some of the most inspirational people in the world. I've spoken at some of the best stages in the world. All because I went, I'll have a go at that. I'll start up a podcast. And you listen to some of my first shows. They were rubbish. But now, they're awesome. So you'll never know if you don't try. Read any amazing autobiography. Richard Branson, any of the Dragon's Dens, any of those people. That book will be riddled with failures. And then they'll talk about the big hurrah at the end where they bought a jet or a boat or something like that. It's all full of going bankrupt, getting kicked out, sleeping on someone's sofa. They had to go through all that stuff to get there. And the ironic thing is the onlookers that are looking in, the haters online, the people that are like, they're never, ever, ever doing better than you. Ever. The people that discredit me on the internet for my work, none of them are doing better than me. All the people that are doing better than someone are busy being good at what they do. The people below that are like, oh, why are you doing that? Oh, that's a shit photo. They're the people that are wanting and wishing and trying to get to the place that you are. It's a huge self-confidence, jealousy issue with that person. So if you see a hater, see a comment online, the best thing to do is actually to feel a little bit sorry for them. And hopefully one day you'll get the chance to help that person. Because they're in a worse place than you, trust me. I've been doing this a long time, and social media can be a ruthless place. So I'll continue to dream. I've got a dream of being on TV with Jamie Oliver one day. On TV. So you laugh. I'll do it. I had a dream a couple of years ago of setting up a supplement company, one of the most ruthless businesses to set up in the fitness industry. We've set it up. It's one of the reasons it nearly went bankrupt last year. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're bringing good quality information to the fitness industry. We brought out a kids nutrition video last year, got viewed by 1 million people. That's cool. All because I think up stupid ideas and I just have a crack. Now, social media is an interesting place. It's positive and negative. You've got to know how to filter that information. Kids now live in a very different era to when I was at school and when the parents in this room were at school. It's so different. And the thing about social media is it's now one of the most primary environments mentally and emotionally that we live in. The average person checks their phone 2 hours a day. Now that doesn't seem so crazy because you can't imagine yourself spending 2 hours on social media in one go. Like if I dropped the microphone now and said, all of you open Facebook and sit here for 2 hours, you'd think, that sounds a bit boring. But we all do it because we get up in the morning, we check for 10 minutes, then we maybe get to school and we're stood outside the gate, we check for 5 minutes, then we check during the break and we just check. And the thing is that social media is now an influence on our environment. And how are you feeling currently about the images and the information that you see on social media? Is it positive or is it negative? When I talk to people about change, I talk to people about manipulating your environment. That everything around you has to be created in a positive way. And social media is one of those things. How are you going to create the positive environment that you want? How are you going to listen to things? I had to know not to listen to that too much and how to listen to that a lot. Because it completely changed my journey as an individual. Now with achieving your goals, and I think this becomes quite easy when you're genuinely allowed to focus and run with your passion, you have to develop what I would describe as the athlete mindset. You look at a professional athlete, what do they do every day? They get up and they live and breathe, sprinting 100 meters, or kicking the ball as far as possible, or running the marathon in a faster time. They get up every day and work towards that purpose. And you've got to do that with a career, with a sport, whatever it is. So you've got a plan. I'm not OCD. You'd think I was if you came into my home office. I plan everything. I plan everything because I want an outcome. If I can't plan, I don't know what the outcome's going to be. And then I start to get influenced by other people, the environment, the time of day, the weather. Nah, I plan for my outcome. So when are you getting up tomorrow? What lessons have you got? Have you got homework? When are you going to make some time for exercise? When are you going to make time for fun? Because you've always got to have fun. When are you going to switch off? When are you going to eat? Know this kind of information so you can plan where your future is moving. And I know it doesn't seem as relevant sitting here at 15 or 16, but once you start to have more pressure put on your plate, you've got to learn how to juggle and synthesize all the different things that you need to do on a daily basis to get to where you want to be. Because time is our most precious resource. Ask anyone that's old what their regrets are. And it's usually, oh, I wish I'd have done this. I wish I hadn't stayed in my job that long. I wish I'd had more fun. I wish I'd travelled more. Plan for that stuff. It's because people don't plan for it. They just let the world take them away. Sculpt your own world. I still keep a handwritten diary. I kind of have, again, this love-hate relationship with technology. Love it for some of the ease that it brings, but I love just writing things down, drawing pictures, printing things off, having a doodle, getting a whiteboard out. Now I'm going to bring back into the picture social media, because social media is going to accelerate more and more and more and more. Technology is incredible. The amount of information that's getting created every day is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. The only way for me to remain successful in my business and on my career path is for me to know when to shut all the noise off. There's so much going on, going around, notifications popping up, Facebook messages, you'll never get anything done. You'll check the Facebook message, you'll have a little look, because it's kind of more interesting. You've got to know when to turn off the world and do the work. Now, if you don't know what you want to do when you grow up, that's awesome. Doesn't matter. For you people that know what you want to do when you grow up, then it's cool. But also be open to changing that. Generations have changed. My grandma would have got a job, stayed in that job probably 40, 50 years. That would have been her career. Now, people are going to be changing jobs all the time. We just live in a different age. I've had loads of different jobs. People around me are changing jobs every 2-3 years, sometimes different industries, completely different roles. If you stop living passionately about something, change. Most people are scared that they're going to move backwards a little bit. People are going to go, oh, why have you gone backwards? It's like, well, I just want to start a new journey. You might have to take a pay cut of a couple of grand, or you might just have to change a few things, but life is about living passionately. If we can't get up every day and live passionately, honestly, what's the point? So if you're not really sure what you want to do, just try things. Get a job for 3 months, get a job there for 3 months, try that, just try everything. That's why I was doing everything and anything when I was at university, because I still hadn't figured it out. I think I had a concrete idea, but I hadn't really figured it out. So make sure you're trying. And you can really try anything. Careers have completely changed. There is kids on YouTube making bazillions playing video games. And the parents are still thinking, that's a stupid idea. They've made more money in a couple of years than all of us put together will make in our lifetimes. Why? Because a job is about providing a service or a product for a market demand. There's people making apps, people making cartoons on Instagram, making loads of money. And there's idiots like me on stage talking to you lot. There's a career there for everyone in every shape or form, as long as you're willing to explore it. But what do you have to do? You can't wait to get noticed. It's a big problem. No one hands out these little success cards. No one hands out wads of money. No one opens the door for you. It's very rare. You've got to go and kick that door in. You've got to stand up and say, no, actually, yeah, I'll do that. You can't be the guy at the back of the room going, oh, I want to do that. Doesn't work. No one gets the prize. And sometimes it's scary putting your hand up, but you'll learn quickly. So keep trying new things till you find out what you're passionate about. And if it takes 25, 27, 28, just roll with it, as long as you're happy about it and you're getting some fulfillment. Now, at no point can I say that any of this will be done without hard work. I've worked very hard in my career, and I still work very hard. Hopefully, any staff member in my company would say he's still the hardest working person in this business. He is not on the beach with a pina colada. But I work hard because I'm passionate about it. I don't feel like I'm working. So don't be scared of failure. It teaches you how to be more awesome. And I know you all secretly want to be more awesome. That's one of the things that I talk a lot about. That's why I'm wearing this t-shirt. I want to teach people how to be awesome. One of the reasons I talk a lot about mindset and nutrition is because it's a gateway to being more awesome. That's how I changed my life. I went from an obese man to a slim man that was energetic, athletic, and had the energy to do absolutely anything he wanted. So strive to be awesome, because it's pretty cool. Now in this process, make sure you are true to yourself. Sounds fluffy. So many people are not in love with the thing that they see every day, their voice, the way that they move, the way that they run. Be comfortable with who you are as a person. You cannot be successful without truly being comfortable with who you are. Because then you can really express yourself. When I was a young actor, and I used to do all the things on stage, I was scared. I was going to swear then. I was very scared to be myself. I could get up on stage and do dances and sing and wah! But as soon as I had to do a presentation where I was myself, I was like, ah. So I wasn't comfortable being myself. And everyone thought because I was an actor, I was really confident. It was false confidence. I lived in false confidence every day. And it wasn't until I went on that transformation where I lost all the weight, became strong, fit, alive, where I was happy to be myself. That process brewed huge levels of confidence in me. And then things like this, getting up on a stage with a microphone, was actually a piece of cake. Because I have no fear of judgment from any of you. If right now any of you sitting here thinking, this guy's a plonker, I don't care. I'm not here for you. I'm here for the people I can help. So you've got to learn how to love yourself. You've got to get in that place where you can express yourself as a person and do it for you and not anyone else. And in that process, find the people that are going to be your cheerleaders. Honestly, get the pom-poms out. Find the people that will support you and believe in what you're doing, whatever it is, and ignore the people that are not, because they're not going to help. Trust me. They're there to just go, huh, see, told you so. So I don't work. I'm not working standing here. I'm just doing what I love every day. And I promise you, the day I don't jump out of bed and go, I don't want to go to Kesgrove School today and get a microphone and talk to a crowd, I'll change. I'll shift my passion. And I might have to take a step back. I might have to reevaluate, but I'm cool with that because I'll end up continuing to live passionately every day. So when we look at our future, you might feel sometimes that things aren't in your control or the ball isn't in your court. The ball is firmly in your court. You choose the opportunities you take And sometimes if you feel you're dealt an unfair card, I promise you, you can view that situation differently. It's like stress. Stress is a result of our perception of an environment. We choose how the world affects us. You want to do a certain career, you go and create that career. Do whatever you want. So, if any of you do want to learn a little bit about nutrition, this is what I do. I'm all over the internet. My name's Ben Coomber. Facebook, Instagram, I'm there. UK's #1 health and fitness podcast. For some of you that want to learn about cultivating some more of the energy that I've spoken about today and realising your dreams as an individual, there's a guy I recommend you follow called Cameron Parker. He's also a very, very inspirational young man and would be a great inspiration for you individuals. But that's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your Haribo. All I ask you to do is go away from this evening and just have a think about what I've said. You don't maybe need to talk about it to anyone just yet. Just let it sink in and ask yourself how you feel about it maybe tomorrow or the next day. Because if I, from a DGCSE student who the teacher said, he draws pictures and sings on stage, he won't do anything, I prove them wrong.